Katherine Heigl has experienced some extreme ups and downs throughout her career, but today she's living her best life, thanks to her family, her many pets, and Tabasco? Stay tuned to see her stunning transformation. Katherine Heigl's family suffered an unimaginable loss when she was a little girl. Heigl had an older brother, Jason, who died in a car accident when he was driving around with friends at 15 years old. Heigl told Good Housekeeping that she was 7 years old at the time and had to navigate life after such a shocking loss. Jason's death has had a profound impact on her life. She admitted to the Sunday Times that, for a long time, she was scared to allow herself to be too happy because she knew how easily it could be taken away. She later realized that that was no way to live and decided to embrace the happy moments. Wherever Katherine Heigl goes, heads turn, and her aunt seemed to notice it first when she used Heigl's picture to promote her line of hair accessories. As the actor recalled to Good Housekeeping, her aunt recognized her niece's talent in front of the camera and asked her mother for permission to put Heigl in contact with a modeling agency, and she agreed. When she appeared on Anderson Cooper's talk show, Heigl revealed that she had modeled for brands like Sears and Macy's, but she actually didn't like modeling much at all, describing the experience to Cooper as brutal, and apparently wasn't a fan of all the fake posing the job required. Even though modeling didn't turn out to be her thing, it gave Katherine Heigl the tools to dive into the world of acting. She got cast in her first film that night at the age of 11. In an interview with W Magazine, Heigl said that working as an actor didn't feel like a job at all, apart from having to attend 3 hours of school every day. Heigl did a few commercials as well, and by the time she entered 6th grade, she was landing plenty of film roles. At 14, she starred in the feature film My Father the Hero and started to feel she was finding herself. However, as she told Good Housekeeping, her classmates didn't appreciate her newfound confidence, and Heigl found herself abandoned by her former friends. Having no idea how she wronged them, she tried to prevent it from happening again by becoming a people pleaser. Though she ditched this mentality in her sophomore year and moved to Los Angeles after finishing high school. Katherine Heigl started her ascent to fame with the TV show Roswell, which was based on Melinda Metz's Roswell High novels. She portrayed Isabel, a character with a personality as feisty as her own. Roswell was not without its struggles, however, as E! News reported that the show nearly got canceled repeatedly, only to be saved by its small but passionate fan base. The aliens on the show had a strange affinity for Tabasco sauce, and Heigl told W Magazine that fans sent hundreds of Tabasco sauce bottles to the network to protest the show's cancellation. It actually helped get the show renewed twice. Heigl had a lot of fun during her time on Roswell and loved having so much creative freedom when it came to her character's portrayal.
What'd you see?
Ricky Martin in the shower.
Katherine Heigl landed a part on Grey's Anatomy in 2005, portraying Dr. Izzie Stevens for 6 seasons before exiting the show to focus on her family. Grey's Anatomy is what turned Heigl into a household name. In 2007, she even won an Emmy for her work. But a year later, people reported that she decided not to enter her name for a nomination, saying at the time that she didn't feel like the work she did on the show that season was Emmy-worthy material. The show's creator, Shonda Rhimes, apparently didn't take too kindly to Heigl's reason for withdrawing. Heigl later clarified her comments to Entertainment Weekly and revealed she had apologized to Rhimes, who was apparently very understanding. However, it turned out all was not well, especially when Rhimes spoke about the incident with Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, on some level it stung, and on some level I was not surprised.
You weren't?
No.
Okay.
When people show you who they are, believe them.
She also took a jab at Heigl in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter while discussing Scandal, another show of hers. While elaborating on how well that show's cast got along, Rhimes said, "There are no Heigls in this situation." If you've never heard of a film called Zizek's Road, that's totally okay. Films that only gross $30 at the box office don't usually make it onto people's must-watch list. To make matters worse, for one of the lowest-grossing movies in US history in terms of box office sales, it cost $1.2 million to produce. In the movie, Heigl portrays a teenager named Marissa who seduces an accountant, after which a series of events typical of a thriller unfold. Despite the loss, Heigl didn't seem to regret doing the project, claiming that it had allowed her to do the most innovative work she had done up to that point, and most importantly, she collected a paycheck. Katherine Heigl's outspoken nature hasn't always served her well. In addition to her comments that led to the drama with Grey's Anatomy creator Shonda Rhimes, Heigl also appeared on David Letterman's show in 2009, where she spoke out about the Grey's Anatomy cast and crew's long working hours.
Our first day back was Wednesday, and it was, I'm going to keep saying this because I hope it embarrasses them, a 17-hour day, which
Really?
I think is cruel and mean.
Heigl also received a lot of backlash for calling Knocked Up a sexist film in a Vanity Fair interview, as she wasn't pleased with how the film depicts women. In Heigl's view, the male characters are portrayed as fun while the women are seen as difficult. She went on to say that she couldn't bring herself to truly like the movie, even though she enjoyed making it. It seems like her blatant honesty has only exacerbated her reputation for not being easy to work with. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar, Katherine Heigl admitted to being a huge fan of Suits long before she starred in the show's 8th season, saying she loved the show's portrayal of women in positions of power. If not for her mother, however, Heigl might not have made it onto the show at all. She was developing her own shows at the time, and her mom encouraged her to contact the creator of Suits about a possible collaboration. That's how Heigl found out that Suits was, in fact, going to have an 8th season. Heigl offered herself up if they needed another actor, and she was cast as Samantha Wheeler, a headstrong lawyer who doesn't bow down to anything or anyone, much like the other female characters on the show. Katherine Heigl stole fans' hearts once again as Tully on the Netflix show Firefly Lane, telling Glamour that she fell in love with the show when she first read the script. Not only did she become one of the show's stars, but she also became an executive producer. As Heigl explained to Glamour, the show presented her with the perfect opportunity to challenge herself. She initially wanted to play the role of Kate because she could see a lot of herself in the character, but decided to give the role of Tully a shot because it was way out of her comfort zone. In the end, Heigl actually drew inspiration from her mother's personality, after realizing the character reminded her of her mom's no-nonsense approach to life. Firefly Lane has allowed Heigl to tell the stories of women her age, and viewers can definitely relate, as Netflix has renewed the show for a 2nd season. In a 2014 interview with Good Housekeeping, Heigl said she had 36 pets on her ranch, from dogs to horses. Heigl's love for animals keeps her close to her late brother Jason, who felt the same.
Honestly, The Innocent and the Voiceless were his thing. He was a huge advocate, even at 15, which is sort of remarkable.
Heigl told Entertainment Weekly that in 2008, she and her mother Nancy started the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation to honor him. The foundation's main goal is to help shelters rescue and find homes for pets, especially those at high risk of being euthanized. The foundation also provides funding to several clinics so they can care for shelter animals that need medical attention. Additionally, the foundation utilizes its resources to hold animal abusers accountable and to encourage people to take action when they suspect animal abuse. In early 2022, people reported Heigl was taking a stand against the method of euthanasia the state of Utah uses for shelter animals. She told the publication there are better ways to help animals than putting them down using gas chambers, and urged the Utah state legislature to make gas chamber euthanasia illegal. Katherine Heigl met her husband, Josh Kelly, while shooting the music video for his song Only You in 2005. Kelly caught Heigl's eye, but she told Good Housekeeping that he didn't really seem to notice her until everyone who worked on the video went out to dinner, and she finally managed to have a conversation with him. Their relationship blossomed from there, and in 2007, they tied the knot. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Heigl gushed about Kelly and admitted that she is not always the easiest person to be around, and that he somehow manages to take it in stride, holding her accountable for her actions while accepting her with all her faults.
He's a phenomenal man. I've never met a man like him, and I don't know if I ever will again.
After she married Josh Kelly, Katherine Heigl was ready to start her family. Heigl's sister Meg was adopted from Korea, and so Heigl wanted to do the same. In 2009, she and Kelly adopted their first daughter, Nayli, from South Korea. Heigl told Harper's Bazaar that Nayli was 9 months old at the time and had just had open heart surgery. At the time, Heigl was working on the film Life as We Know It, which she said was somewhat surreal because her character was also a new mom. 3 years later, in 2012, the couple adopted another baby girl, Adelaide, this time from the US. The actor told Jay Leno that her husband needed some convincing to adopt again so soon, let alone a newborn. But in the end, he agreed. And now, of course, they wouldn't trade their daughter and the experience for anything. In 2016, Heigl became pregnant for the first time with what would be her third child. Announcing the news on her blog, she wrote about how she and her husband had kept their options open and how they wanted to expand their family, even considering fostering a child. Then everything changed when she found out she was pregnant, something she wasn't sure was an option for her in her mid-30s. She later told People that pregnancy wasn't something she ever actually desired until then. Katherine Heigl underwent a serious surgical procedure in 2021. She first shared the news with fans on Instagram, telling them that she'd had to go to Los Angeles to sort out a herniated disc in her neck, which was incredibly painful. It turned out that she needed surgery, and a few days later, revealed on Instagram that the doctors had implanted 2 titanium discs in her neck. In the post, she expressed her gratitude to her doctors, who made the scary experience less terrifying. She said the pain she'd experienced was gone, and she seemed in very good spirits despite having to wear a neck brace. The death of her brother changed Katherine Heigl's life forever, but she continues to keep his memory alive by doing what she knows is right, and that includes encouraging people to become organ donors. On the 35th anniversary of her brother Jason's death, she took to Instagram to share her memories of him and the very difficult decision their family had to make after he died, choosing to donate his organs because they knew he would have wanted them to do so. Heigl took a moment to encourage others to become organ donors too, saying, "Tragedies happen, but none of us are in this alone. At least that's what Jason taught me." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite actors are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.